See, the problem with what he's saying, you cannot prove with facts that Stephen A. Smith is lying. What up, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about this whole Jason Whitlock, Stephen A. Smith drama that's been going on. Stephen A. did end up responding to Jason Whitlock, almost an hour-long response. He pretty much cracked his muffin. He blew his back out, all the above, absolutely destroyed Jason Whitlock. All this stems from a memoir that Stephen A. Smith did way back when called Straight Shooter. It was pretty much detailing everything in his life. And Jason Whitlock had the audacity to question one part of Stephen A. Smith's life and try to say it's a lie.
That are installed at the top of these industries, they're comfortable distorting the truth. They're comfortable with exaggerations. They're comfortable with telling farcical stories. And maybe they're comfortable because we believe them. I mean, he sat in a crowd, and if you go watch that whole interview he's doing with the one white dude, there's other journalists in this crowd. I think he's at a library and he's promoting his book. There's other journalists in this crowd listening to these farcical stories, and no one is saying like, that don't add up. What are you doing? He's comfortable telling. And he's calling out. You got to go watch this interview. He's so arrogant and so over the top. And I just want to thank this guy for coming out and blah. Who buys this? Stephen A. is a myth. Stephen A. is a plant.
See, the problem with what he's saying, you cannot prove with facts that Stephen A. Smith is lying. And furthermore, why would you want to look in somebody's memoir and trying to question what they actually went through in their life? If you don't believe him, Stephen A. Smith should have just sat there and said, suck my dick. He works for ESPN, which is owned by Disney, but best believe if he was on the Stephen A. Smith show and just that, he would have told you, hey, suck my dick. Because how dare you question this man's life? If I write a memoir, you don't believe what I put in my book, suck my dick. It's my life. You can't prove that I'm wrong. For people who don't understand, this has been going on for a while. Jason Whitlock, the only reason why he tries to bring up time and time again Stephen A. Smith's playing days is because he always tries to discredit him as a journalist. He tries to use that as ammunition against him, trying to say he's not as credible to give an opinion on the world of sports, when it's really just a pot calling the kettle black situation. Because I don't know who knows this or not, but Jason Whitlock is a bum. He was a bum in college football. He played at Ball State, but he didn't ball out there. He sure as hell didn't ball out in the league, let alone in any other football league. He didn't ball out in arena football. I don't even know if there was arena football back then. But the point still stands. He was a bum. You go to his Wikipedia page. Where's his football stats? It's nowhere to be found. All it details is his journalistic career. He played at Ball State, but it didn't go anywhere. Now, granted, this isn't me saying that Jason Whitlock shouldn't give an opinion on sports because of what he didn't accomplish at Ball State and beyond. It's just how you going to always try to fuel this narrative with Stephen A. Smith when you yourself could not cut it. You couldn't cut the mustard. When the lights got brightest, you got weak in the knees and collapsed. You buckled under pressure. That's the only reason why he keeps going to Stephen A. Smith. And we need to debunk this whole narrative that you gotta play the sport or play any sport to talk about sports. Look, I don't have to play a sport to tell you your favorite athlete sucks or he played like dog shit last night. If he played like dog shit, I can boot up this camera and light and say, hey, he sucks. Your team sucks. Your coach sucks. That's why he ain't got a job. I can do that. If they don't cut the mustard, I have the right to do that. You don't want me to say it? Well, guess what? Tell them to get better. Maybe I'll shut my mouth. And one big thing that kind of burst that little bubble, that idiotic bubble, is if we're going to go off that logic, then everybody who has a Twitter account, an Instagram account, a YouTube account should not be allowed to call LeBron trash. They shouldn't be allowed to critique anybody who's an NBA athlete. But people don't want to do that. They don't want to say, oh, well, that's different. You're a fan. Look, fans, critics can criticize people if they don't play well. And this coming from a guy who ain't never played a sport in his life. If your favorite athlete played like shit, he played like shit. Get over it. This would be the equivalent of a music producer or an artist getting mad at someone who reviews music for a living, or a movie director getting mad at somebody for reviewing a movie saying it sucks, or reviewing a game saying it sucks, and the developer just comes out and just gets pissed off at said reviewer. If you don't want nobody to say your product is shit that you're putting out, get better, work harder, maybe I'll be nicer. But until then, you got a job to do, just like Stephen A. Smith. And he's the most respected journalist in the game, whether you love him or hate him. But nevertheless, people are going to ride for Jason Whitlock, act like that he's the gospel of truth, spreading all the truth about Stephen A. Smith, when really, to me, he didn't prove a damn thing. And people can't see through his shenanigans and can't see that he's trying to perpetuate the narrative that Stephen A. Smith should not be allowed to commentate on sports. If he shouldn't be allowed to commentate on sports, then Jason Whitlock, myself, other YouTubers, people in the comments section shouldn't be allowed to neither. But y'all let me know what you think about this mess in the comments below. Till next time, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.